Saint Luke, also known as Luke the Evangelist, is one of the four authors of the New Testament Gospels. He is traditionally believed to be a physician and a companion of Saint Paul. Saint Luke is credited with writing the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, which provides a two-part account of the life of Jesus and the early Christian church. The Gospel of Luke emphasizes compassion, forgiveness, and the inclusion of marginalized groups. In this series, Father Benoit Standaert unpacks the writings of Saint Luke, bringing to us a greater understanding of this evangelist and his writings. As we approach Advent, this series would be instrumental in our preparation for the Gospel according to Saint Luke.
Our hope is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. A few weeks ago, we have analyzed the characterology of Heymans and the application possible with the Evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, Paul, and John. We had three parameters, axes, and through them we could make a kind of portrait of each of the four Gospels and of the Apostle Paul. There exists also a new, and in a certain sense even very old, model of characterology with 9 types. And from there comes also the name of that approach, the Enneagram. Gram is letter, Ennea is 9 types. And we all have to solve our personal way of facing life and its problems. And around 40, we have made some choices with faculties that we have privileged and other that we have used in another degree, but not so central. In these 9 types, there are 3 types who are in the heart of the major faculties. Type 3 is the center of the heart types. There are 3 heart types, 2, 3, and 4. They are sensitive, they are emotional, they are rich, but they see the reality mainly from the part of the heart, but they have also an intelligence. And that are the next 3, 5, 6, and 7. That are the intellectual people with rationality. Out of their intellect, they understand and they face the whole reality. And number 6 is in the middle. He is the strongest in the good use of that faculty that is the intellect, the intelligence. And then we have the 3 types, 8, 9, and 1. And these 3 are in service of the instinct. Very deep, and they are put high, but they have a strong character, all 3. And now let us look more concrete what each of them is. They gave some, not only a number, but also a quality. Number 1 is the perfectionist, moral perfectionist. He wants always to achieve the max of what is possible. A good example of this was Paul. As Pharisee, he wanted to achieve, according to the Torah, all the rules at a perfection. He did not succeed, and he recognized that. But he still wants to do that. He had to become a free perfectionist, and that was the work of the grace with him. The second, number 2, is a supportive advisor. That is his name. A helper. He's always ready to support, to advise, to help. He can be even seductive so that he could at least continue to help left and right as much as possible. The third one is the successful achiever. He doesn't know what is an accident, what is a mischief. He realizes he is the one who perfects. I succeed, I am efficace. I do what has to be done. The achiever. Okay? The fourth one is called here romantic individualist. When you play with this 9 type, the fourth one will immediately say, I am not the fourth one. And he proves that he is it. He is not a number. He's exceptional. He's unique. There is no comparison with others. He's individual, exceptional, romantic, poetic. When you see someone dressed with all type of clothes in the same person, with an own creativity, you may be more or less sure you stand before a 4. That's number 4. Number 5 is an intellectual type, and he's the thinker, and he is the investigator. It's the one who works at a thesis when he was 25, but even at his 40, he has not finished the research around his thesis. He's the continuous researcher because there is still better to be found, because a Japanese study has discovered this, and you have to bring that together with a North American scholar, and so on. The thinker and investigator. And for him, there is not good and bad. He's above these distinctions. He wants to analyze everything without prejudices. He's large in mind and a researcher, intellectual. Then 6, in the center of the tree with intellect, is the loyal guardian. He is the one who immediately sees the danger before the others. And in the middle of the danger, he is extremely courageous, also more than some others. But he immediately sees what does not work in anything. And he will, in fair, in loyalty, do his plight, his pledge. The 7 is like Mozart, is the player, the entertaining optimist. I am happy. There's no problem. The one who can give at each event in a community a positive interpretation. He can de-dramatize the difficult situations. And 8, that is a heavy one. He is the protective challenger. He's severe to others, but he tries to be just. I am just. The 9, Pope John XXIII has considered as a typical 9, a mediator, peaceful, charming, but balanced, not on the foreground, but he can take decisions and renew anything like he has done with this initiative of a council. So there you have the 9 type, the perfectionist, the helper, the achiever, the individualist, the thinker, the guardian, the optimist, and the challenger. Now, a few weeks ago, I was still sleeping, and I got the question, and Benoit, where do you put Luke? Surely you know Paul is a 1, but Luke. And in my dream I said, but he is typically a 4. He's an artist. He's a creator. As soon as he may write and compose, he has done the work, and his admiration goes to Paul, and that is the normal line for the 4. The 4 must look to the 1 and be normed by the 1. So I was happy, yes, he's a 4. And then at the other side, the perfectionist Paul has a 7 before him, and at least 2 in the New Testament has been a 7 for Paul. That was, first of all, Titus, who could arrange all the difficulties between Paul and the community of Corinth. He went several times up and down, from Macedonia to Corinth, from Corinth to Macedonia, and then back. And we see in the letter, especially in the second letter, that Paul is very, very happy that he could arrange things. Another one is Silvanus. He's also a companion coming from Jerusalem and a helping figure that Paul could appreciate. Where is then Mark and Peter? We know that the Gospel of Mark is in depth the Gospel of Peter. We have 2 figures, not the 2 figures cover each other, but in some point they reproduced the same model. And I came to the conclusion that Peter must be a 3. And he could deal with severals, also with the difficult James that I would put in number 7. And the letter of James is interesting, and the Acts of the Apostles, we see that for 25 years, James was the new leader in Jerusalem, and Peter let it go. He could combine with that because he is a 3. 3, 9, 6 work generally very much together. And Matthew should be a 9, who can work with Peter, can work with Paul. He has integrated some of the major intuitions of Paul, the one who is an heir of the mediator 9. And in the triangle, Matthew and James are not in opposition, but can be complementarian. So that was my research in my sleep. And the day after, I came across the whole New Testament, asked myself also, where would you put John, the tradition of John? And in some manuals of the Enneagram, John should be a 2, who is laying close to Jesus at the Last Supper, and receives the secrets of the Master as a consolation for both. So the 2 is there, and then the Hebrew letter is not so easy because there is a figure who has done homilies, and there is another figure who has arranged the homilies in a letter like a letter of Paul. And I think Silvanus could be the arranger, the editor of these homilies. And these homilies could be sensitive, close to 9, a man with large views, with integration capacities, and going in the depth of sufferance to understand the mystery of Jesus in his solidarity with us. So, you see, we have learned something out of the cube of Hermans, a Dutch philosopher and thinker of the beginning of the 20th century. This here is a model that has been influenced in Latin America, in Russian, and has also some roots in Muslim philosophy. But anyhow, it's there with a 9 typology, and our authors of the New Testament, more or less everyone, finds a place with the attraction that is positive, like from Luke number 4, has to be oriented to perfectionism, like Paul, and that brings the harmony in the life of the 4. So far, I hope that it helps you a little bit to come home in the New Testament and in the world of Luke, and at the same time that you can come home in your own identity. As you know, by working a little bit with these categories of the Enneagram, where you yourself, above 40, don't try too young to fix your identity. But if you can find your polarities, it will help you to live in society and to remain a freed one, a freed two, a freed three. It's not enough to say I am a 4. I can be an individualist that is unbearable for the community. If I am freed in my type 4 because of the relationship with 1, I am a pleasure for everybody. I myself am a 2, if I may confess where I have found myself. And some friends who knows very well this have said, but you are a 2, you are a 2, you are a 2. But I must orient my personality to the 4. And the 4 is the unique artist. Each time when I am a bit creative, I am in the line of 4. By writing, even by those causerie about Luke, this is a pleasure, this is coming in the nature of the 4 as being a 2 who wants to serve the community in this year of Luke, in this Chi year of the liturgy. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Amen.
Saint Luke, also known as Luke the Evangelist, is one of the 4 authors of the New Testament Gospels. He is traditionally believed to be a physician and a companion of Saint Paul. Saint Luke is credited with writing the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, which provides a 2-part account of the life of Jesus and the early Christian church. The Gospel of Luke emphasizes compassion, forgiveness, and the inclusion of marginalized groups. In this series, Father Benoit Standaert unpacks the writings of Saint Luke, bringing to us a greater understanding of this evangelist and his writings. As we approach Advent, this series would be instrumental in our preparation for the Gospel according to Saint Luke.